of planting this type of stuff in order to
Dude,
break up.
we are
And
always
then-
suspecting Regesia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the first rule you guys have learned is always suspect Regesia, yes.
We're,
And the
Regesia is at
Yes,
fault.
the Regesian Inquisition, you should always suspect them.
Whatever it is, I'll come up with like a character to blame. You know what? Goblin Slayer. Regesia is our. Is it goblins? No, what? Why would it be goblins? Oh, of course it's goblins. All right, no, that's Regesia. We're right. So that's the obvious first step that we always go to. But moving on from that, Megadon is the one that stands to gain the most from all of them being annihilated. That being said, that doesn't necessarily mean it's them, but it doesn't look good.
So, I guess since we only have the night, do we want to then focus on the mids and the highs, and just hope for the best with the lows because they're already pretty low?
Well, so remember that just to go over it, or just sort of to repeat it, tomorrow, whoever the presenter is going to be, is going to make a statement, and we can role play that if you want, or you can just go to the roles. It's totally up to you guys on what you want to do and who's going to be speaking. I think the three things that you discovered, the first one is the issue of succession that we've been discussing. The second one is the King's advisor, Glibglammer. Do not rely on her. Like, you have found out that she has become very anti-Sequin, and hoping that she's going to suddenly turn face and be like a fan or an advocate. Do not do that, otherwise it will have a penalty. And then the last one, regarding the demeanor of the court, if you want to say specific things in your statements to try and win favor with them, you can, but we can do that tonight in the sense that in order to sort of reduce the check for specific groups, you will need to make two. I just have this listed for me. I'm sorry. Two successful persuasion checks to that lord or lady's proxy. And so if you wanted to do a friendly, it would be 2 DC 10s. If you wanted to do hostile, it would be 2 DC 20. Now, there are some things that you can do to either give you advantage or maybe gets a reduction in those rolls, depending upon what you find out if you pass the first one, and secondly, if you've already done something that maybe would provide some insight or some approval from the proxy and their sort of liege. I was just going to say, for example, if you're going to speak with Lady Den, you could provide her proxy with like the badges that you took from the corpses and say that you discovered this and it looked like it was the work of the Talons. You could even go on to say,
come on, Mike, say it,
that you dealt with the people who did this to her people. However, that's probably not anything you would want to say to anyone else. Right?
Yeah, that. But for instance, if I put an enhanced ability on myself for Eagle Splendor and had advantage on charisma checks, then would that go into a persuasion as well? Not
absolutely,
just
yeah,
right.
absolutely, yeah. Is Eagle Splendor something that has a duration, or is it a one and done thing?
It is a concentration up to 1 hour.
All right, yeah. So if you wanted to do that on yourself, you could absolutely do that and have that as something to rely on as you move forward.
Perfect.
How many times can you do that to yourself in a day?
Oh, well,
Well, I mean, when I was a teenager, it was all the time.
well, it's a
You're
second
not a
level,
teenager anymore.
so
Yeah, so I'm limited. I can only get my agility up so much nowadays.
it's a second
They have
level.
pills for that.
Spit it out,
So
Eric. Ignore him.
You will. I no. Second level, and it goes up with every other level. So technically, I will have 3, 6, 9, 10 times to do it, and then I
Holy
can
shit.
affect more people as I go higher up. So if I were to cast a level 5, I could get, I think, 3 more people.
Okay, but we don't need that. But I just wanted to know. So within this evening, do you think that we would be able to meet with and speak to at least like we have 2 that are neutral and 3 that are hostile towards us?
You have 2
Is that
friendly.
correct?
Yeah, 2 friendly, 2 neutral, and 3 hostile.
So the question is, do we want to
We should prioritize the hostiles.
Okay.
Um,
would we be able to meet with all 3 of the hostiles in this one evening? Would we be able to meet with 5, the 2 neutral and the 3 hostiles? What do you think in town?
So there are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, and there are 5 people that you want to talk to. So if each of you took one, then yes, you could do it, because it's going to take. The idea is the 2 checks are indicative of several hours of kind of like schmoozing and hanging out, and feeding drinks or going to see something or hanging out or whatever. So
then yeah, maybe you want to cast that on all.
That's what I was thinking, is getting that the 5th level. Was it 5th or 5th level, and therefore having 4 people total. Unfortunately, someone is left out.
So whoever has the highest charisma, or
whoever
here's
the
thing: the naturally poorest rolls. That's probably
yes.
So Venice rolls 20 all the time, so don't worry about him.
Well, the problem is I'm probably going for one of the harder ones, so I want to make sure that I'm at least getting that.
Exactly. Somebody going for a neutral.
Yes, I would say if there's a mediocre person going for a mediocre thing, like cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay.
What is everyone's persuasion bonus currently?
Mine is a +1.
Yeah.
I just like the utter.
You peasant!
I even talk to you? What?
Yeah, exactly.
How do we communicate?
It's natural deodorant. There's no. Okay.
I'm low. Hey, I'm lower. I have no persuasion. 0.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I like how Sylvanas is so good and everybody else is not. Just no.
Right. We just thought Sylvanas was going to do all the talking for this entire thing, so we were like, we didn't care.
Well, I mean, Sylvanas, is there a way you could clone yourself? Like, make a second Sylvanas? So
no. Even if it helps us, at least one of us is against that, just on principle.
Well, what if I polymorph someone into me, and then there were 2 Sylvanas running around?
You're not solving the original problem.
Might as well just go home.
Right. If this is what we have to do to make this happen, it's just too much. I can't condone it. Right. Just let Regesia take over. It's a better option. It's the lesser of 2 evils.
Alright, so Morak and Nim, what are your persuasion bonuses?
+2.
+4.
Hey, we got a winner.
Gee, I can't wait to ask Sylvanas what his fucking dump stat is, and then go, ugh, you fucking scumbag. What a piece of shit you are for not having stats all at 20.
My dump stats are actually, I have 4 of them.
The hilarious thing is, his dump stat is probably charisma -1.
Just quick thought, like from Balin's voice here. Balin would say that if if the mention of what you've discovered about both the Talons and Lady Den's people might grant you advantage, that whoever is your lowest person, maybe that's the connection to try to make, because that might give them some advantage in that conversation.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking with
Are
Den,
they-
specifically since we came across that.
Are they a moderate or a high?
Lady
No.
Den is neutral. Lady Den is
Neutral?
Neutral.
Okay, perfect.
I
So,
wasn't thinking our lowest person. I was actually thinking me with the +1,
okay.
maybe with no magical spell cast on me. So you can leave me out of the magical spell. I have a +1,
Perfect.
and I'll deal with Den, which we might have we have some other negotiation with them, and then everybody else give you guys the advantage.
Okay.
My-
What's
So-
what's the number we have to get to? Because there's 9,
It was.
Well, so
DC 10.
9, and stepping guard holds like 2 or 3.
3.
Stepping Guard's vote is worth 3. Yep.
And and we have to get to 9 or No.
Well, if it's 9 and then that's 11, so we need to get to 6.
okay. We just need a majority.
Correct.
Okay.
So, Morak and I will go after the hard ones.
Yes.
Is stepping guard on the table?
If 6 nobles disagree with the king, their decision stands, as the king has 3 votes.
I mean, I think the 3 of you,
Yeah.
Morak, and
If
Nim,
3.
Yeah.
should
we
go
have-
with the
Yeah.
3 hostile ones.
So before you do that, I think that I'm going to have Nim make a history check, please.
Character. Yeah. 11.
Oh.
Not bad. Could I assist him with that?
How would you like to assist him?
Uh,
Actually, you know what? Balin wants to step in and assist, and gives them Bardic Inspirations, which is a D8. So
Ooh.
if you'd like to roll a D8 to add to that, it might get you something.
No, I'm good.
I mean, okay.
16.
16. Nice. That is enough. You remember when you were learning a specific game while you were in Sequin with Xavius Fobane, that he had mentioned that Lord Is was also a fan of the game and was very focused on all things kind of physical and military. And you think that maybe your connection with Xavius could buy you some sort of street cred in a conversation.
I mean, that does sound like Nim.
I mean,
All the
other
street
thing we
cred.
can also consider is if the neutral parties are more, because they're neutral, they're more likely to get turned.
Right.
So we might not want to necessarily match up our heavy hitters with the people that are the hardest. We might want to more kind of guarantee those neutrals coming to our side. Because if we get
Yep.
those 2 neutrals, then we have
4.
3
What's that,
that
4?
are in favor. So that would be 5. If we get stepping guard, then we're golden. So doing that way, we would only we would either need none of the hostiles or just have to turn one of them. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's I've taken some tests and like certification sort of things, and one of the things that I was taught is all the stuff is on computers nowadays, and every question is like multiple choice, and they're all worth the same. So if you know the answer to a question, you answer it. If not, and it's going to take you some time, you skip it. You can come back to it later if you have time. And so we'll take care of the easiest ones because they're worth 1 vote regardless of what we do.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
the only thing is if Steppengard is on the table to try and reach, then that's the only one that I'm thinking we make any sort of change for. Otherwise, we send Savenis to Steppengard. Otherwise, it's, we're just making sure that we take care of everything.
Oh, I thought we were all going to meet with Steppengard, and that Sylvanus was the one talking to him, but I didn't think
Yeah.
that.
I believe
that
If that's,
one of our
I know
clients-
that's, I don't know if that's the thing for tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
think we
if we don't have the chance to meet with anyone representing Steppengard tonight, then okay, fine, no big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, there isn't a Steppengard proxy here in Bresk. It would be if
Okay.
there was a meeting somewhere else kind of thing.
So the 5 that you're talking about are the 3 that are hostile and the 2 that are neutral.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
Is there any-
I don't disagree.
Is there any way that we could maybe figure out who might be the most hostile against us? Because then, I would be willing to go to them, just because if they decide they're
One
gonna attempt to
problem
kill me-
solved in a matter of speaking.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just going to say, if you kill one of the Lord's proxies, you're probably declaring war between Dazen and Sequin.
No, I'll
Remember, just say,
forge something that says Megadon did it, and then I'll be like, yeah, I killed the head of Megadon, but look, here's this letter.
oh, I thought you were going to say you killed somebody else and then drew a big set of balls and wrote Megadon on it and then just left.
Bro. No, I
Yeah,
killed Megadon.
she just starts, putting evidence everywhere of
It is his calling
Megadon
card.
being,
He does leave a big set of balls wherever he kills
being a problem.
Yeah.
Look at
I was
what
like,
they're
"Get
doing.
it. God, okay. Understood. Huge nutsack. Get over it.
Hey, Tom's doing his best running this game. You don't have to insult him.
See? I knew it. I felt this earlier. I knew this. I knew it. So I think that before anybody jumps into any of these checks, you decide where you're going to go. One thing that you can find a little bit more about is anybody who's interested can give me a history check, specifically about the Book of 8 Lands. And that's the book that sort of Succession comes up about. And I believe you found out about that. I think, Nim, you rolled the check, so I will actually give Nim advantage if you want.
we have a 12 and a 23 and a 20.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I like to let people roll.
Got it.
Stop it.
We read.
I'm wearing a crown that just makes me smart. That's all.
Oh, super. All right. So we'll sort of walk through this. The Book of 8 Lands magically records the lineage of all the rulers of the lands of Dason, and its text automatically records any births, marriages, deaths, or other changes in succession. The book is so named because the nation once consisted of 8 kingdoms, though 15 years ago Steppengard united the region and added a 9th region for himself. In the past, the book served almost as a checklist of whom to kill in order to move closer to the throne, so it inspired a lot of civil conflict. But it is no longer used to determine succession, however by mutual agreement of the nobles. So if Steppengard had been killed, even though the book names Megadon as the next in line, the council would have to agree if that made sense.
Yeah.
The book grants special magical defenses to those who rule each of the lands of Dason and to their immediate families, intended to let them rule without being swayed by charms or compulsions, which is why it's even more troubling that all 19 of Steppengard's children and his wife were murdered in one fell swoop. Like, the book should have given them some kind of protection against that, or at least some of them.
Well, they weren't charmed.
No, it provides protections against charms or compulsions, but it also provides some physical, resistances to them. And then, excuse me, and then lastly, the book is an artifact. It is actually an artifact that's currently protected in the vault of King Steppengard's castle. Any human, dwarf, or half-human may ask to view the book by addressing the guards in Dwarven, stating, "I pray that my blood is worthy of Daisy."
Do we
And
have any
it's not.
human or half human or dwarf in our party? Or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
but do we have anyone who can speak Dwarvish?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
not it.
See,
Nope.
I'm playing catch up with my languages, and I chose the wrong D.
Yeah.
Well,
but I
maybe you chose the
definitely
wrong
have
language for
Infernal.
now. You're not going to be
I
in Days
made sure I
Before.
had
No,
fucking
I-
Infernal, though.
I chose the wrong language for now. In terms of now, this is the game that we're playing. Because if I had had Draconic last time,
Exactly.
Oh,
Draconic, Infernal. I had Dwarvish all of those times.
yep,
Didn't mean shit.
Yep.
I have Orc and Sylvan.
Yeah, that would have worked 2 games ago.
right.
Well, I figured, hey, orcs
We're
everywhere.
not
in this
we're not
game.
blaming you. Everyone's in the same boat. No one's saying it's only Mike's fault. Even just if evidence
It
points
usually
to
is.
it. Right. Just because that's normally the case, Mike. You don't have to get defensive about it.
Or you could. Totally up to
We know that it's usually on you. All right, we're giving you a pass this time.
All right. So
Now I'm suspicious.
with that, I guess, kind of out of the way, who's talking to who?
There's more. I have a plan. It is a bit of a stretch because this spell is just so weird and has different limitations. But there's a spell called Magic Mouth
Ooh,
that
nice.
that maybe if we have Sylvanus give a message to each of these, and then we choose an object, and I can do it with with this spell. He can give the spell. He can give a speech to each of these people, just as a failsafe, or we could do something deception-wise, say that this is a message from maybe the king or anyone else that might be influential, and then Sylvanus just does a fake voice. You don't have actor, right, Sylvanus?
I don't have actor, but
Ugh.
Kind of figure out of mimicking and things like that. If there's
yeah. I mean,
What kind of bard doesn't have actor?
not yet. I got inspiring leader instead to make you all, a little better before
So
fighting.
Yeah, no,
I
I know.
like the kind of
I've been a
outside
bard.
the
I
box.
see that. But
Not that kind of bard.
I made the right choice when I chose
So-
my feet. But
The message. So I'm reading about Magic Mouth right now, and it says the message must be 25 words or less.
correct.
And so because these checks represent a night of kind of schmoozing, I don't know how this would be helpful with that.
If you use the magic mouth in the other way that you actually got the spell for, it might work.
okay.
Just saying.
I was gonna say we can use Sylvanus to make
I'm
a
just reading the second
soundboard.
paragraph, and it's getting funnier now. When the circumstance occurs, a magical mouth appears on the object and recites
Okay.
the message in your voice.
Uh,
So it's
yeah,
getting
Mike-
weirder. Yep.
Mike's getting righter as this goes along.
What?
So
Because what I was thinking is if we had multiple messages to send, and just say that this is
Not helping.
What do you mean?
Multiple
Nothing.
mouths.
I know
Keep
that
going,
it's a stretch
keep
because
going.
it's only 25 words, but if we can get an endorsement from someone, or just have it be a deception check, because otherwise I'm not really sure how to use this spell in general. But I know it's a bit of a stretch, but it could be something where Sylvanus can give just something brief, or you can go deception wise and then have say like, this is the voice of the king. This is the voice of the king. I want you to hear his words or anything like that, or just give more credit to the person who's giving the actual speech. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I like it. I like it because I think maybe it's a way to kind of gain an advantage on one of these checks of the two that you gotta make. I'm just my thought is like, I think you got to say that the king is out right now because basically the king is in a state of depression and is locking his kingdom down. So to think that the king would have said these guys are great, but that doesn't mean there couldn't be somebody else who says something positive that could be done. I just think that the king is probably not. I think that if you were to say
I was
that
just
here's
doing
the
that
words from the
because
king,
that's like the only person I would think of with status right now.
I'm King Steppengard, and this is my favorite store in Dust.
Exactly. Just something like exactly from that.
I endorse this message.
So that's what I'm looking for. If we have like a celebrity, and we don't even need them. I'm just saying like if we could just do an impersonation, which can bite us, but I'm just trying to figure out a way to get this to go through. So,
Well, if Sylvanus had chosen actor, he could have been a famous celebrity based on his performance, and then he could just endorse himself.
I mean,
True.
did you see that last performance as me as a tree?
No,
with my good
no
solo?
one did.
No, well,
like if
We all left. It was that bad. I mean,
might
we
not-
want to be
they were
supportive,
literally
but I
going to
mean,
burn the boat down.
It might not be.
Yeah, that
cool,
too.
but he can still, maybe try to do a deception check. And I'm not saying that we lead with this, but it could be a way to like
I
give
think
another
that,
bullet. or something.
yeah, no, I think that maybe this can be someone's ace in the hole if they need it.
Right.
I'm King Steppengard. I endorse these adventurers.
That's the one that I don't think would work, but okay. If you can think of
Or
something
if-
else, for sure.
If it doesn't need to be the king. It's just someone of status. I only mentioned the king just because I thought of
he's the
role.
big guy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I'm the dead wife of the King Steppengard. These guys are
I was
great.
thinking the wife, yeah. I wouldn't have said that she was dead, but I mean, how much more power does that hold? It's like, look, death can't even stop her from saying how good of guys we are.
I mean, the audience may take it in a weird way, so just think before you do. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But
Nah,
and
we don't do that here.
Nah.
I would just need to get the components from it. And if it's something we want to do, then sure. If not, then that's fine too. But I was trying to figure out either like a better basis to approach them, or if someone already failed, maybe be like, oh, maybe this will change your mind, and then give them like a little bit more of an opening, even though it's a short message. Or we send multiple messages, and as long as you play them in the right order, we're good. So.
So, do you need to have the message pre-programmed, or can you like lock this spell up and then just direct it to do what it needs to do afterwards?
I think we would do like this the night before, and so everyone has it ready. And
Well, so
And
you only have tonight to do the interactions because you have the meeting with the king tomorrow.
oh, I thought you said tomorrow. Okay, the king's tomorrow. Okay, never mind. I didn't know if we had time to do this because it would take probably about an hour or so, and then we would need Sylvanus.
Yeah, so you guys basically it's like mid to late afternoon, and you guys have the evening to go out and kind of court the proxies that you want to try and get information from them and sway them in their sort of legions. So, like, if you need an hour to do something, I have no problem saying that you
Yeah.
get that done.
I mean, I would
it's
cast each
just
as
that,
a
like,
ritual.
the first check basically will get you some dirt on like things that maybe the person is looking for that you can kind of take into consideration and use it or not use it in your speech. And then the second check is to see if you can actually sway them. And so I think that, like, in a circumstance where somebody had magic mouth, if there's like somebody from Sequen that could say something, whether it's Simon or somebody else, that having like this set up to be like, oh, you want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth? Here. And like you pull out a scroll and the scroll says, I would do the thing that you're asking, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that could be an interesting thing to do, and maybe that would give you some like advantage on that next check.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I got this spell from whatever the school, and it's a ritual. So I was just figuring out if there's anything I have that could assist. So maybe I have no idea if this would work. Maybe help.
Well, because it's something that might be helpful, why don't you put it like in your pocket and you've got one set up, and then you can use this as a thing? Because again, it could go really good, it could go really bad. To be announced.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because it's a ritual. That's what I was saying. Prepare one for each person, and then have Sylvanas say some words, maybe an opening or something. Whatever.
Is it an hour for each though to prepare?
11 minutes for each.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you had said it was an hour to do the ritual.
No,
Like,
I would need
that's
that
a lot of time
for each person, and then yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we say that you do that, and then if each person sort of has one in their back pocket, if there's a way that we can say that it can be utilized, then sure, you guys can use them. If you can't come up with a way to do it, or there's not like a direct person, then maybe it's just something that can't be used in this circumstance.
Sounds good. Any ideas on the message that we think would be helpful? Should we just have Sylvanas say some words as an opening?
I think just leave it to be circumstantial. I'm fine with leaving. Like, I know the spell says you have to declare what it is, but because each of these is going to be so specific, I'm just saying that, like, if you can come up with a way to use this to say that I have Sylvanas created the voice of the head of this Shaelesti naval fleet. Like, okay, like, great. Now you've got that kind of thing.
All right.
All right, so I think with that, who's going to go talk to him?
I mean, apparently I have street cred and is.
And Dene, I think, would be like we really want to nail them too. So, and we have what we did for what we discovered, and what we did to avenge our discovery of the Dene people, and the little medallions to prove it, or the things that were on the bodies. Maybe we want to send Sylvanas to Dene, because that would give him all kinds of advantage. So hopefully we can really woo them to our side. If we can get Iz and Dene, then
I'm almost not to. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if Sylvanas is so jacked with like the eagle splendor that he's going to do, and he's giving that to multiple people, it's only a DC 15 to sway Den. So that's like, yeah, it's 2 DC 15 checks, but I feel like
you have to get both.
Sylvanas is you have to get both. The first check gets you information. The second check gets you their favor.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about this is that if you make both checks, they don't move up. Like, hostile doesn't go to neutral. Hostile goes to friendly. Just as neutral goes to friendly if you make both checks.
And all the hostile, it's equal? Their DC is equal?
Yeah, so each of the hostile is a DC 20. And then tomorrow, when you meet with the king, the person doing the speech will make 3 checks. 1 for friendly, 1 for neutral, 1 for hostile. But for tonight, where you're trying to sway people and get some more people on your side, which was the whole point of coming from Sequin.
So then as the DM, your suggestion is that Nim talks to Iz, and Molrock would go to Den, because Molrock is actually like a +4 to his charisma, and then Sylvanas goes to a hostile?
Potentially. I mean, with a DC 15, it's tough, because yes, I have advantage, but I've only got a +2. And then, I mean,
Well,
I'm
that
going to
would
be
equal
using... What is it?
So Venice, Eagle Splendor gives what again?
Advantage.
Advantage.
So do you think the DC would go down because you can't have double advantage? So we're already
Right.
giving ourselves advantage with Eagle
Yeah.
Splendor. Do you think instead the DC can just come down for his little connection
Well,
with them?
so the way that this is set up, the rolls are pretty static unless you can add something to it. And so what I'm going to say is, depending upon what you have in your pocket to talk to the proxy about, that may sway either one or the other or both of the rolls, but it depends on what you're going to throw into it. And if you don't want to try to throw anything into it, it'll just be a flat check.
Yeah, if it's a DC 15, it's tough because yes, I get advantage, but now I have to roll a 13 twice, and my last advantage that I just had was a 5 and a 6. So like, it's very easy to not. I have guidance, which is
Balin
another
has
D4,
2 more,
but
yeah, Balin has 2 more bardic inspirations that he will give out, but those are one-time uses. And
Aren't those only
Sylvanas,
10
you
minutes,
have
though?
Inspiration.
I thought Bardic Inspiration was only for 10 minutes.
You're right. Shoot it.
Sorry.
Balin has
I mean, you
special.
could have taken it
Right.
and run with it, but it's fine.
Because I have 4 I could give out, but I was looking at like, oh wait, that wouldn't work.
Well, it might be something too where maybe we could say that you guys are able to find the proxy right off the bat, and then you have that inspiration for that first check.
Do you want to bardically inspire us in the message of the magic mouth?
Sure, I can do that.
You guys are the best!
we're just carrying around a Sylvanas
Actually, I
affirmation.
really like that idea.
Yeah. It's just jukebox.
I really like that idea. Like, rather than trying to figure out like how you could get, like, you know, a leader from somewhere or a diplomat from somewhere or a celebrity or whatever, you just have a call upon bardic inspiration. You're just like, hold on, before I finish talking to you, I just have to look at this scroll, and the scroll's like, you are the best, and you just feel much better after that. I love that idea.
It's just a mirror scroll saying, "Who's the best party member around?"
That's the one Sylvanas takes. No, you're good looking. No, you're good looking.
Who's mom's favorite robot?
You are.
Wow, unreal. My gosh. This is amazing.
All right,
I feel incredible. Yes, 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 yes. I can win. I feel
Which
great.
hard
I can
one is
do
left?
this.
I guess that would be the
There's 3 hard
Well,
ones.
so far the only
Nobody's
person that I
chosen
know for
anywhere.
sure is it sounds like it sounds like Nim and Iz
Right.
were on the board, but nobody stepped up and said that's for sure. So
all right. Yeah, Nim should go with Iz.
For some reason, Megadon is calling me because I think they're going to be fucking
Unreal.
dickheads.
Okay, fair enough.
And I don't know, might end up starting some shit. Just saying. So send me where you want. I'm just giving my.
Let me,
I want Megadon. Send me where you want.
Now, I'm not saying I want Megadon, but for some reason I feel called to Megadon. But I mean,
I
that
don't
might
want
be entirely
Megadon. I
irrational.
need Megadon.
Might be entirely irrational and emotional. I'm willing to go wherever the party decides.
all right, so, so if you're going to Megadon, we have Rego and Naaman still left. Dene was the ones that we had the insignias for, correct?
Yes.
All right. So in that case, we should send Gwent over to Dene, with those and the understanding that, hey, we've
I feel incredible.
assisted you. We came to return these
Yes,
insignias
yes,
of your
yes,
soldiers.
yes, I can win.
We
I
want
feel
to
great.
have them,
I can do
share
this.
honors,
Ah.
and if you need to, we can also provide the location of where their bodies are, so that in case you wanted to transport them back, you may.
Yes, I'm
Um,
home. I'm
So
alive.
Iz and Dene are
This
taken
is a
care of.
miracle.
Megadon's
I'm
taken
awake.
care of, so that's just Rhaego and Naaman.
So we are going to match our heavy hitters up with hostiles.
I mean,
This is amazing.
You and Morak are
I
heavy.
feel incredible.
yeah, it's. I guess I'm looking at it as the DC for it is
A 20
was
or better, which you two
20.
are the only ones who are possibly
This is
gonna get that.
amazing.
Okay.
I feel
You said 20 or
incredible.
better, not and 15 is the moderates.
Yes.
Okay. God.
And I'm not gonna
I
have
love how much concern is going into this. This is great.
and I'm not gonna have the magical owlish charisma either. So just know that likely I am not gonna be able to persuade Megadon either.
Okay.
As long as we're okay with that.
There's a 20 on that die.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
it comes down to if, because I already know I'm hitting up. I'll just say I'm going to Rene. And
What's the lowest?
Rhaego.
What's the lowest you
This
can
is
roll
amazing.
and still
I feel
make that
incredible.
DC?
Yes.
A 20. I would have to roll an 11.
Oh, okay.
You would just have to roll a dice. Did you not see his
Yeah.
rolls already
I feel
tonight?
great.
So,
I
yeah.
can do this.
So
The only way to stop Sylvanas is pure physical force multiple times, and then he dies. But
Yeah,
not
somebody grabbing
necessarily.
Yes, yes, I can win. I
I
feel
wish.
great. I can
certain
do
devil
this.
that walked in the house one night.
right.
Destroyed me.
I think she took you down like 3 times in that fight.
He was-
Like she took you out, somebody healed you. She ran up and took you out again. Somebody healed you, took you out
He
again.
was just really glamored by her outfit. It reminded me of something you'd
You
worn
look
to
the
show.
best.
Mm-hmm.
Your hell gear is the best.
The
Yes,
other
yes,
thing
yes, yes.
I could
I can win.
possibly
I feel
try
great.
and pull
I
off
can.
as a stop get measure is at the end tomorrow doing a level 5 charm to see what the hell would happen.
I can win.
But
I feel
that's probably
great.
not going to be good in the long run.
No, I don't. We
Right.
should not. Charm.
So let's do that. Yeah. So let's do this. You've got everyone's going to have, except for obscurity, everybody's going to have advantage.
I feel great.
Correct.
And then additionally, I think if we could say that the magic mouth spells that are magic mouth rituals between Balin and Sylvanas, each person could have a bardic inspiration. And Sylvanas, your bardic inspirations are D8s right now,
D8s, yep.
or D10s? D8s.
D8s.
So everybody would have an additional D8 in their back pocket if they wanted to use it. Does that sound fair?
That sounds pretty fair. I guess.
Well, I want to make sure that
Yeah.
TJ's down with that too. If that sounds
Yeah,
good,
sure.
it was a great idea to use the magic mouth spell.
Yeah.
So I guess between Morak and Puent, who wants to handle the moderate and get that in the back pocket, and who wants to try their luck at the harder one?
Remember that you do have an in with Lady Den, and
Exactly.
you may have an in with Lady Namin.
Oh,
Oh,
have an in with Namin. Okay.
In like.
However, nobody's
Namin.
made their history check to know that yet. So
Oh.
What are you talking about? I rolled a 23. And
Yeah.
no,
Quint
that was a different history check.
Oh,
Different history check. I asked for one last week and nobody made it. That's why I said nobody
gotcha.
knows.
Okay.
gotcha.
However, whoever goes to talk to Lady Namin, I may allow another history check after your first check that could be helpful. So
Okay. So, in that case,
Maybe
in
somebody
turn,
who's good at history too.
That's why.
Morak, what's your history bonus?
History.
Should be pretty good. It's int.
+4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, both. All right. So it's still a toss-up because both of you have a +4. So I guess
Who?
whoever wants to go for it, go for it.
Toss up. Oh, between Quent and
And Morak, yeah, they both have +4
right, but
on.
Morak has a higher 4 charisma.
That's true.
So yeah, have Morak go to Naaman.
All right. There we go. So Quent goes to oh god, Dene. Obscurity goes to
I'm going with
Megadon.
Den, but you can say Dene.
I like
Dene.
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 Dene like Penne.
Yeah. I'm heading to Rego. Morak's heading to Naaman. And
Security's
Nim's
got
gonna go play a
Megadon.
game over in
Nim
Is.
has Is.
Yep.
All right, well, let's start at the top. Let's go to Puent. Puent, do you want to do any RP or do you just want to make some rolls?
You know me, I just do the rolls.
Don't forget the history
Just here
check.
for the rolls. All right, bro. That's totally fine. So, nope, not a history check for Lady Den. Lady Den,
That's
you,
right.
you go to her.
Sorry,
Den, I'm
Dene.
sorry. That's right. We changed it to Den. I gotta make
Dene.
it Dene. Dene.
Dini.
All right, Lady Dene's proxy. You meet them at wherever you want to meet them, and after like some brief conversation, you kind of provide the tokens that you collected from the bodies. Do you explain more, or do you kind of hold it back? Like, what do you do with regards to like the full story, or what are you doing? As far as the bodies found,
No, you're
the
busy,
fact that you
but
tracked
you
them
up
back
for
to
a
the
round of
Talons,
Gwent?
you took the Talons out that did that to her people. Do you
I
say that or no?
I think Quint would be pretty brutally honest about where he'd got it. He wouldn't be like intentionally poking at him like, "Hey, we found these on these on the assholes who attacked us."
Oh yeah!
But I think he would be honest about where he got them and how we came by them.
Oh no!
Okay. Your honesty has reduced the check to a DC 13.
Oh yeah!
So make your first check. This is a persuasion roll. Remember, you have advantage, and in your back pocket, you have a bardic inspiration that you can use if you want to.
Okie doke.
That is
13 on the
exactly
die.
the number you needed because it got reduced. All right, so you find out. Nice. Whoever
Pretty
was on the
much.
button, nice. So Lady Dene, uh, her main concern is preserving her land's beauty. She, um, I'm trying to find her. Yeah, she's down in the sort of like southern area between Steppengard and Megadon. Um, she is very
Oh.
interested in setting up non-aggression trade pacts with Sequin, which 100% sounds like stuff that Sequin would want to set up. So if these are things that you want to mention tomorrow in speaking in front of the king, as far as like what Sequin is bringing to the table, etc., that may in fact be a way to further push her towards being helpful and friendly to you. But for the sake of this, you have one more check to make. So remember, the DC is still set at 13. And you can roll that with advantage because you still have advantage, and remember the D8 if you need it.
See,
All right. So Lady Dene, her proxy, and through her proxy, Lady Dene herself, have now become friendly towards you as the Sequin ambassadors. Yeah, I don't think you needed that. You might want to have saved that just so you could use it at another point. But nice. I'm marking it down. You used it. All right. Okay. So we move to Nim and Lord Is. Do you want to RP this, or just want to go to the rolls?
Yeah, let's try RPing a little bit.
All right. I think you find Lord Iz's proxy at a like what Steppengard has that's effectively like a gym, but it's one of those gyms that has like a bar at it, so that like after lifting you can go have a beer. And currently the proxy is in the midst of doing some hack squats, really loading up the plates.
Oh yeah!
Okay, so I will definitely, with my newfound strength, help out if they need, anyone to spot for them or anything like that.
Spot, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Lord Iz's proxy kind of takes a look at you and is like, "Yeah, thanks. I'll take that." And so you guys kind of go back and forth, maybe a couple different sets. Move on to leg press, and just sort of like between throwing it up, you start talking. And I think start like, hey, yeah, I'm in from Sequin. I've got an audience with the king tomorrow. Tell me more about Is. And so if you want to make that first check, go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me what is.
Right.
What's the is and is? What's the biz and is?
Okay. Good.
Oh wow. Yeah. So basically, this guy lets you know that Lord is effectively all about anything physical, and is all about military prowess. His domain is kind of smack dab in the middle of all of Jason, and as such, he kind of has the hardest battle to defend because he's surrounded by everyone on all sides, and so he is just constantly what is the best practice? How could I defeat everybody at once if I needed to? What is the right strategy? And as such, Xavius Phobane is his sort of tactical genius is something that Lord Is admires and kind of wants to be recognized for on his own. And if you want to mention the fact that you've literally played, was it Quest? No. What was the
Know
game?
you're busy, but you up for a round of Gwent?
Nice. Maybe that's what you say
that's basically how. Yeah. No, absolutely. If anyone has played The Witcher and knows that it's just oh yeah, no, Gwent definitely came out of that, and that's a game that's wow, this is pretty simple, but also pretty addicting.
The artwork's pretty nice too.
Yeah.
So I think with that, you have now reduced. If you mention that you've met Xavius, that you've played, I guess we're going with Quent right now instead of whatever that game was, because I can't remember what the name of the game was. That, or even if you mention some of the knowledge and training that you've been sort of conducting on yourself as you traveled from Sequin to Brest, that you reduce this check down to a 13 for your second check.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm definitely telling him about that. I played that game, that's why I'm here.
Way.
Oh wait,
Oh man, Lord
it's
Is
supposed
loves
to have.
that guy. All right, so an 8's not
Okay,
gonna
so
pass.
8. 8 is what I'm working with. Alright, so first things first, we've got guidance. Shit, so 9. Alright,
But you have a D8.
so I need a
You have
4.
D8.
Come on, don't be a dick about this. Thank God.
Oh, he does it! All right. That was close. All right.
That was like 3 chances in a row. It's like, just get a heads on a coin flip. Tails, fuck!
All right. So you guys.
That's guidance rolls like you going up to Megadong and saying, "Hey, it's a good idea to call it Megadong" in front of his face.
Yeah, but
You know what you should do? Let me tell you what you should do.
Jen's gonna go there and they're like,
go take.
how did we not see that? You're fired.
So
God,
currently
everyone in the
now,
kingdom is fired.
even if the team is not able to sway anybody else, you have 4 lords and or ladies that are on your side right now.
Are they leaping?
You don't have 9.
No, okay.
No, that's lady.
We don't have 5,
No,
though?
you don't have 10.
We might
That'd be
have
8.
9.
8 lords
Yeah,
leaping.
no.
Well, so
Yeah.
wait. So you have Dagobon, Timor, Dene, and Iz right now. Gallo is off the table, but you know that Gallo is friendly. But you don't have. But Gallo is not represented right now, and you know that his proxy is in jail.
Oh, so Gallo's not going to be there.
Right.
Yeah, that's what the green jail cell is right next to it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So Gallo doesn't get a vote tomorrow.
Well, you don't have to sway Gallo tomorrow because Gallo's not there.
So we're still going to need 6 yeses. Or 1 king yes and 3 yeses.
So yeah, six votes still in total because
Okay.
otherwise it's 5 and 5
And
potentially.
it's a
Got
stalemate.
it.
Yeah, it's a stalemate.
Okay.
However,
we
making
don't
the
have
lords
Gallo.
and or ladies, making these these leaders favorable to the causes that you're talking about. There's 2 folds to that. One is follow through, and follow through is going to be big for specifically the hostile ones. There's a couple follow through items for some of the friendly ones, but I think you guys will be on point when those kind of come up.
Okay.
So, all right. So you guys are doing good. So Venice, you've got Lord Rhaego.
All right. Fair enough.
What do you want to do? Do you want to like, where do you think you find Lord Rhaego's proxy?
That's a good question.
Under the sea.
Darling, it's better. Downward, it's better. I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know much about Rhaego, so I'm not sure where I would find the proxy. Because the proxies have been everywhere. I would hope he would appreciate the fine acting of the theater, but
Rhaego's
So
supposed
what
to
you
be
know
very
about
wasteful.
No, he
Lord
definitely
Rhaego is
can't since he's
terrible-
hostile.
Yeah, Lord Rhaego is a terrible manager of resources and the poorest of the noble lords,
ooh,
and has
Okay.
suffered the most from the refugees passing through his lands. So maybe there's like a really sort of ritzy,
Dive bar?
fancy place. Yeah, well, no, like a really ritzy, fancy place that government spending is just being used
Right.
in the grossest
Dumb.
possible way. Like somebody's just like, put it on my card, like just yeah. And so in this, and it's also one of those places that charges you like $16 for a tap beer. That is,
and $20 for tap water.
and it's
Yeah,
also
I know.
not good. Like it's not like oh, this is the best I've ever had. No, I'm just
It's Bud Select.
yeah, I'm spending this much money on poop. Great. So you go into this
poop
ritzy
again.
shithole, and you see the proxy kind of sitting there. Maybe he's got like an entourage around him, and like they're playing cards or they're playing dice, and like he's just losing money. He just doesn't even care. He's just like, wee.
I'd probably offer him and his entourage a drink, and then try to get in on the game and talk to the man at the same time.
Kind of looks you up and down. What kind of drink did you buy me?
Only the best. Throw a man of class
You're in.
yourself.
You're in. Come on.
3 copper.
We're playing a game called Liar's Dice, and I'm terrible at it.
Ah, that's great.
But it's not my money. and so yeah. So you're in. You sit down, and as you're playing dice, I think I'm going to do 2 checks for you here. The first is going to be let's roll that first persuasion. Remember, you have advantage thanks to your spell casting. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
That's the first one. And then second one with advantage.
I was like, oh, he's gonna fail on the first one. Oh no. All right. So basically, the proxy through the course of losing money, I'd like you to roll a d20, just a flat d20.
Let me just do it here.
All right. You make 50 gold off of him as you're playing Liar's Dice with him. Like you like,
hey, listen, man.
you're gonna walk out with more than, well, maybe not more because you're gonna pay your tab, but sure, you got 50 gold in your pocket from this. He kind of lets you know that one of the reasons that Lord Rhaego is, I guess the way he is that he has suffered he suffers the most because the refugees passing through are just like ripping up the land, and he's not able to get anything out of it. Most of his land is the Princess Way in like an open plain, and basically, like, as resources keep getting depleted, there's nothing to like reinstill the coffers with. What Rhaego has done, rather than come up with a plan to help his people, is he loudly proclaims and blames Sequin for all of his troubles. He is actively hostile to Sequin because of their unwillingness to help when his lands years ago under threat by basically this like master monk / spellcaster named Lisipu. Lisipu. Lsipu.
We changed it from shithouse.
And he basically he wants to see Sequin destroyed because it will shift his problems somewhere else. He hopes be like, oh, Sequin's gone, so everybody should leave and go there. And however, he would be interested in a trade agreement with Sequin if Sequin were willing to offer in terms some sort of subsidy that would offset his dwindling wealth. So basically a trade agreement where it's like, we'll give you some money too, kind of thing. Which sounds incredibly stupid, because why would Sequin offer that? But that's what he wants.
That's tough.
Like, so unfortunately, garnering this information doesn't give you any benefits, and it is going to be a straight DC 20 roll for your second. It doesn't mean you can't make them friendly. It just means you get another DC 20.
Yeah, I got you. Oh,
That's not good. That is. God damn it, Sylvanus. The guy just got him like, oh, he's going to have to use that D8. Oh. Just going to have to summon a few more demons. Oh, not demons, devils to just kill you. All right, you're able to sway Lord Rhaego. Son of a bitch.
do I take any more?
I don't
of
know
his
why
money?
I didn't think that would happen. You know what? Yeah, roll another D20. Yeah, you get another 170 gold. So, and he's like, I don't care, it's not my money! And we kind of like, the camera kind of like fades up to the ceiling and goes to black, and then comes back down, and now we're dealing with Lord Megadon.
So Venice is going, yeah, it's mine.
Security.
My bitch. Your taxpayers' money is mine.
What you could do is say, yeah, tomorrow when you make the speech, say, what we'll do is, we will give you back all the money I just won off of your proxy last night to fund your people's needs. All right, obscurity. Where do you think you meet Megadon's proxy?
In the sewer.
At the strip club. At the strip club.
The brothel,
Mm-hmm.
per se.
100%.
All right, so Megadon, just as a recap, is one of the richest nobles in all of Daisen, controlling both coastline and access to the Nashim River. He does
So you're
not
saying
believe
he's gifted.
Regesia is. One might say he does not believe that Regesia is a threat to him. And so you go in the club.
Everybody in the
Just like
club getting tips.
strobe firelights, and it's just like halflings holding up bells in front of like a fire, like, and then somebody's in the back just beating down. And
Prestidigitation.
half of the club is just like a dirt hole that's been carved into a hillside, and the other side is and that's where it gets real dirty. And the other side is like a glass floor that reflects the light back up, and it basically looks like a place to go blind if you went over there. And kind of in the middle of the dinginess and the light is Lord Megadon's proxy. And he's, I'm going to say there. You're not really sure. They're sitting there, and they're just sort of taking it all in. It's just like, this is everything.
Hello?
Sitting there and taking it all in.
Maybe sipping like a martini that's like interspersed both green and pink and has like a pickle in it.
Interesting combination.
Can I maybe pay a couple girls to go over there and start being super flirtatious and offering like extra dances or anything like that?
You could, but if you're speaking to like I guess the host, the hostess, the host, whoever, they're like, yeah, you might want to ask more than just girls because we still haven't figured him out.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll do the boys, the girls, the kids, all of it, whatever.
The lady
There's no
boys.
kids here. That's gross. You can leave now. No, I'm kidding. But you can leave. That's just halflings. Just halflings.
Sprites?
There's a couple sprites.
It's a fetish.
It's
Cranberry.
Call in one of the stray dogs.
Cranberry Sprite. Cranberry Sprites come in. Call back.
There's a tabaxi over there somehow.
Yeah.
Oh man. Sorry, this cough still hasn't left. So you kind of do that, and this figure turns towards you. Pickle drink first, and you see that their faces it's like an oval, like it's like a perfect oval shape. Like it looks like somebody drew a model but wasn't sure if it was supposed to be male or female, and it just looks incredibly androgynous. And it doesn't so much smile as it just sort of opens its mouth, and this like forked tongue comes out, and it goes, "I'd like to talk to you."
Oh, nice. Invitation, I'll take it. Yeah, I walk over.
Please sit down.
I sit. Cross my legs to Dr.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, Sharon Stone.
Nice.
You immediately like, thank you, Katrina. Thank you for making me make sure that I focused on those. All right, got it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So yeah. So as you sit down, do you
myself.
want to? Yep. Do you want to just get right down to the balls talk, or like, what do you want to say anything, or do you just want to try to make the check?
Yeah, no, I would like to introduce myself. I would like to explain why we're there, why I'm interested in speaking to Megadon's representative.
That's me.
What's his name? Or their name?
My name is.
Spell that? Tom spell
I
that?
think you can figure it out.
Sheep? Sheet?
Call me that. That's not my name. That's not my name.
Eat?
It's not his name, it's his fetish.
Okay.
Go on, you were saying.
Okay. So I explain that we're going to be meeting with the king. I explain obviously who I am, where I'm from, that we're going to be meeting with the king. I'm also going to explain that we came across some bodies which we've learned are individuals murdered from Dene, and that we feel that we came upon the assailants, and the assailants were Steppen guards. I forget what their name is now. Me, the player, not
The
Obscurity.
Steppenwolves.
She knows. Obscurity definitely knows what they're referred
Talon.
to as. And explained that it seemed that the guards, not acting under the authority of the king, but were potentially trying to plant evidence on these bodies, suggesting that Megadon had something to do with their death. We definitely don't believe that.
We'd never do that.
Yeah. Right. Like, well, I don't understand what Megadon would have to gain from starting murdering, allies, peoples. But that I'm concerned that there may be some deeper work at play, and that someone may be targeting the reputation of Megadon, which we know reputation is everything. And I would suggest that we work together to clear Megadon's reputation, and give suggestions that we'll be offering our services to Steppengard to see who's really behind the horrific, murders of his children and his wife, and suggest that if we work together, that we can make sure that Megadon's name and reputation are intact, and that the real individuals sowing chaos amongst this kingdom are brought to justice.
So, at the mention of the Talons murdering Lady Dene's people, entourage, whatever, you see, like, his eyes go from that sort of, like, placid ambivalence that he had, or she had, or they had, to this, like, spark of, like, anger and concern. And as you continue to explain, or should I say lie, about what was discovered, I think you're going to have to make a pretty high deception check to get this to fly.
That's one of my good stats, so that's where I was going with that. Way better than charisma.
However, this is wait. So this is not the persuasion check to be buddy with Sequin.
Understood. Whoops. No, that's not.
Now, hold on. Oh, I was going to say, I think you should have advantage on this, right?
Should I? On deception?
We'll just... your spell...
It's charisma based.
Savanist. It's charisma based, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But, so you did roll it twice. And...
I would actually like to use... I have an inspiration separate from Sylvanas', one of my own. DM inspiration.
Oh, so all right.
Like the roll again.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
nice.
So that's
son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, that was the number. that was the number. So, he goes, Lord Rhaego is beyond reproach. it's time for that first persuasion check.
Yeah. Okay. So this is No, I am not. I don't have the thing for the thing, by the way.
I know
FYI.
you don't. Yeah.
Right.
Wait,
Just
why?
correcting that. Because you could only do 4 people.
Oh, that's right.
So-
You were the one person
Yeah.
that did not take it.
Yeah, but
you
I didn't
that's
need
fine.
it. I didn't need it for Iz.
What do you mean?
I have
You
my
didn't
street
need
cred.
advantage? So you weren't
No,
rolling.
it does-
But you were rolling at advantage.
No, I'm gonna say it was called because Savannah said who got it, so I'm gonna say it was called.
And it was not me. Okay.
But all right.
I'm doing
but
persuasion
check.
What? Okay.
And you do have the bardic inspiration with
Inspiration
the
if I
magic
need it.
mouth for the D8 if you need it. Yes.
All
right. So I'm gonna tell you right now that even if you roll an 8 on
Yeah.
the check, you're not going to be able to move the needle on this. So you're not going to be able to sway Megadon's proxy. However, because of that 20 on the deception, you are able to learn that one of the what's the best way to put this? That much of the friction that exists between Megadon and Sequin is related to fishing rights.
Right.
Both sides have had a long-standing feud over control of the northern portion of what's known as the Gratis Reef, which is rich with tuna and grouper. If Sequin were willing to concede like fishing rights to that area, it would probably go a long way to getting Megadon on board with like being aligned with Sequin's goals of saying, don't let Regesia march through here.
That's also a
kind
high
of
ask.
thing. But it's also like it would be a big loss as far as like resources to Sequin if they suddenly didn't have like available access to that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But maybe there's some sort of compromise that can be made there.
It's potential. Like it seems like that's an area that could be further like diplomatically involved, like reviewed at a later date.
You could like split
but
it
it's
in
probably
half.
not.
No. Okay.
Well, yeah. So maybe it's something that like when Sovenis is speaking tomorrow. Again, Sovenis, I don't expect that you're going to remember all of this and have to say all of it. But the idea is that to mention like the Gratis Reef as a potential like area of wiggle room. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I wanted to reward that D20 or that 20 roll because that was pretty fucking great. So all right, and I got you to use one of your at one point 4,000 inspirations that you got by answering questions. So all right, so Lord Megadon fail. Last one, Lady Namin and Moruk. Moruk, where do you think you meet Lady Namin's proxy?
Where do I think I meet? I don't know, library?
Okay, that's fair. As background, Lady Namin has ties to Shea-Lesti, who her nation borders. Remember that the Shea-Lesti come down along, like their lands come down across the Tunda Mountains, and Namin borders that. She has heard rumors that the agents of the Lyceum attempted to kill the princess of the Shea-Lesti. Remember, the Lyceum is the Wizards' College in Sequin. So she is currently hostile to Sequin because she believes that like those actions ignited war or potentially will ignite war between her lands and the Shea-Lesti. Also, when the king's wife was killed, Lady Namin was already in the capital city, and she quickly began maneuvering to become the new queen. I'm gonna let you make a history check right now.
Was she already doing that?
So
or
I
is this like
until I saw the history check.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes, so when you guys were traveling through Dason to Sequin, you actually spent an evening with her knights that kind of escorted you through her terrain or her territory, and they, when you guys got to talking, explained that she had been like the rumor was that she was angling to be the next queen, and was maybe looking for a way in if there was ever one.
Okay. So it wasn't like an all of a sudden she's. Oh, you know what? There's no queen. There will be. It
Well,
was like, nah, that's kind of the
I
plan.
mean, at the beginning of this game tonight, or this session tonight, you guys were talking about how Lord Megadon was top of the list. Lady Namin, you guys know, wanted to be the next queen, and that was several weeks ago. You found that out, and now the queen and all the children die, and Lady Namin herself, not just her proxy, happened to be in Bresk. Coincidental or damning? Who knows? So I'm going to say that with that, you're able to, like, the knowledge of her kind of like angling towards the crown. You're maybe able to bring about in conversation in a sort of way of sort of like reference to it, and saying that, like, it's obviously like this country needs leadership, and Lady Namin has been looking for a long time to kind of ensure that Steppengard's power is secured and supported by not only herself but the other lords, and that kind of like maybe opens the way to further conversation with her proxy. And so your DC is an 18 right now.
All right. Roll with advantage.
Roll with advantage, and you don't forget you have an inspiration if you need it.
I'm gonna need that.
I'm gonna go ahead and need that.
There you go.
Here
That's
you
10.
go.
So
I have
open the
something for
door.
this.
Yes, 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 yes! I can win! I feel great!
Yes.
All right,
And
nice.
it's so perfect that it's you getting that.
So
Equal opportunity.
Both green guys.
you,
Christopher
through
Spunk.
conversation, if you're able to kind of dispel some of like the hate rumors that I was just talking about, how the Lyceum was trying to destroy the Shaelesti fleet, how like Sequin actually like met with them and like helped save some of them during the what the hell was his name, Lee's like hurricane and all that. It potentially could go a long way towards like swaying her. She's also somebody that um loves flattery, and and like and overdo it with like courtly graces, like not just like my lady kiss the hand kind of thing, but like over embellishment of all things because of a greater sense of grandeur. And so unless there's something else that you want to bring into that conversation or do anything, see if you can sway her proxy in there by her. It will still be a DC 18.
Oh, this is another for me.
Yep. So everybody had to make 2 checks. If you get the second check, you've turned them to friendly.
All right, and this is also with advantage.
Yes. Oh, there it is. And uh, I guess not shockingly, with some of the skill stats that were happening here, you guys have turned everybody except Lord Megadon into friendly. Shockingly. Um,
Woo!
I think I am going to hit like mute for a sec and go grab a beer, and then we will go and start a courtroom session.
You know what that means, right?
There are bitches.
That Megadon's definitely the one that did it.
Nah,
If they're not on our side, they're obviously the bad guys.
Fast line.
It was a dick move.
Right.
I was actually kind of surprised that of his interest and intrigue in the fact that Denny's people were being murdered. So that was interesting that he seemed to care about that. And he said that you know that he was kind of slyly suggesting that Rego would be the one to be spreading rumors about Megadon. So found that interesting as well. So Megadon and Rego aren't necessarily
Best of friends.
right, exactly.
I'm still confused because I thought I had advantage in is because of the thing. And it's like, oh,
No, I think he was just saying he didn't
that's
say he wouldn't have
that's the
advantage
whole
in
reason
that.
I don't know. I'll
think
check
it
the
was just
recording.
saying that he was suggesting that it was going to be easier for you.
I'm gonna check
But
that.
it didn't seem to change the DCs at all.
Yeah, no, that part wasn't changing.
Like
And that's why I'm
I was
pretty.
kind of hoping my lie was going to make the DC drop down, but it didn't either. I thought he was going to be more willing to listen to what I had to say, but no.
But alas.
Alas, my lies got me nowhere.
Well, I mean, they got you some information, which is good.
Yes.
And so I think just so stat-wise, what you have going on when you first started mentioning Lady Dene's like dead people, I'm like, what are you doing? Like specifically, Balin was like, don't talk to anybody besides Dene about this, and I was like, uh-oh, let's see what happened. All right,
Don't
so
worry, I got it.
the check tomorrow that needs to be made. There will still be a friendly check, a neutral check, and what was a hostile check, because right now, Dashkoban, Timor, Dene those are all at 10 because you guys, by making the checks, reduce the difficulty by 5. So those are all at the friendly 10. Rego and the Min have dropped to 15, so they are neutral, but that's the check for them. And then Lord Megadon is still at hostile. But you guys are able to kind of collect yourselves and go back to the room, kind of give Balin the information. He's very excited about what you share with him. And is there anything else that you guys want to discuss, or do you just want to say that you rest tonight so you get everything back that you might need? And or is there anything else?
I don't have anything else to do.
I think that's it for me, but
we don't need anything as like prep or supplies for tomorrow, right?
I'm getting my rope.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if there's nothing else, meet obscurity.
What do you bring a grieving king?
A cake.
Yeah. Okay.
Rope.
Oh,
Not for that reason.
All right. So, if that's the case, everybody get your rest in, get your spells back, do all of that stuff. Knowing that you're going to have an audience with the king, and I'm guessing, so Venice, you're going to be the speaker of this. If you
Yeah.
want to say that, like, you cast Eagle Splendor on yourself, if there's anything else that you want to do, if you want to do the Magic Mouth inspiration again, you could do that. Actually, Balin's going to be right there, so like he could just grant that to you if you need it.
Sure, just so I have. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So if you want to like just click that off that you've done it, and like when we get to the point that you need it, you can just say that you have it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just going to do get my spells back and add one bardic inspiration on myself. So.
All right. And is there anything that that anybody else wants to do as far as prepping or like buffing Savennis? And I'm not going to behold anybody to like a time frame on this because there's a whole series of things. I just figured if we get it out of the way right now, it's done.
Shit. Maybe. Can I?
Yeah, Spirit Guardians, and it just starts fucking up the whole court. Yep.
Well, if they decided that they were my enemy, well, fuck them. Yeah, like I definitely. I want to cast guidance all the time, but it's only for one ability check.
I'm gonna say that like you could say that you just got it prepped and ready, and if you need to like drop it, that's fine. Just know that like.
Well, it's a touch. So like if he has to be up there, unless he's like sneaking over and like coming back, and I can get a hold of him again. Or if we're like sitting close enough.
Let's see how it goes. And if you've got it, I'm going to say readied, but I don't mean like you're readying it or anything like that. But but if you want to try to like subtly do it, like maybe we'll do it. But let's see how this goes.
It's got a minute duration. I'll cast it on him before it happens, and then if anything happens and he like can walk around, like I'm envisioning in a courtroom where like he walks over to like back to the defendant. And it's like if we could touch then, but like if not, that's fine. Whatever. I just throw it on him beforehand. He's got one use of it. It's D4. You know, if that's it, then that's it.
All right, cool. So let's, so Venice, let's just keep that in your back pocket too. That you have guidance. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Is anybody doing anything else, or are you guys good to go?
Mini bardic inspiration.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I mean, do you have the enhance ability one, the one you cast on everyone?
I do.
Did you cast that? Did you cast it on yourself?
He checked that off and said he did it. Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I know I have it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stack it on you again unless it benefits in some way. But
add.
So yeah.
All right. So, as you guys had, just as a reminder, as you guys had approached Brest, coming up the Nasham River, you saw that the castle itself, as well as the city, was built into a hillside. And one of the points that was made is that the majority of the sort of action and life and everything that happens in Bresk is not on the surface, but is in like the warrens and the caves and the tunnels that connect everything in the hillside and beneath Bresk. So the next morning, you guys wake up, you have breakfast, you kind of ready yourselves, and Balin and you head to the castle. You're kind of you're brought into this grand hall where there's like other dignitaries and local merchants and all sorts of stuff, and you kind of have to stand there waiting for what seems like forever. But just at that point when you're just like there's I remember there's a scene in in Adventure Time when Finn and Jake are in hell and they have to like cross this like river, and they just have to keep waiting, and one of them is like, I can't do this anymore, and the other one's like, keep going, and then the other one's like, now I'm gonna die, and the other one's like, keep going. So kind of like that atmosphere. And then right around noon, just when you're like, I can't take this place anymore, you are all ushered into an audience chamber just in time to see the end of a trial. So good call on a courtroom. After navigating a variety of irritating functionaries and the warren of corridors that lead deeper and deeper into the hillside that the castle is built into, the heroes are finally ushered into a throne room with wide, high ceilings, its walls studded with small shaded windows, and there is but one single skylight over the throne itself, dropping light and illuminating it and the space before it in a pale amber light. The crowd in this room is made up of several dozens of people, proxies for nobles, their assistants, ambassadors from other lands, and servants of all kind linger in the shadows watching the spectacle before them. You guys are kind of directed to the right side of the room where you're positioned beside the entourage of Lady Namin. She is currently the only noblewoman who is personally in attendance and is dressed from head to toe in mourning black attire, which is contrasted sharply by her like platinum blonde hair. All the other nobles are represented by their proxies, as stated. Um, in the center of the light coming down are a pair of lavish thrones. The left one, however, is covered with a black shroud, and in the one on the right, there is an aging but still vital looking King Steppengard. His brown beard is unkempt, his clothes are wrinkled, and his crown slightly askew on his head. And it looks as if he has not slept well or perhaps at all in days. In front of him, a slim man in manacles is being harangued by a gnome woman with curly hair that seems to shift, her hair that is, that seems to shift from black to purple as she moves. She holds a book in her hands and stalks around the man in a circle, her voice shrill. She leans close and says,
You realize the king is offering you a chance to recant, confess, admit your role in this tragedy, and ask for his mercy. You do realize that, don't you? It's no secret that Gallo has.
The man interrupts her. Duke Gallo. His family has defended our nation since its birth. You should pay him the respect he has earned.
Gallo?
The woman continues.
He has the most to gain if the king were killed. This was clearly an attempt to frame Regesia.
She gestures to the audience gathered in the darkened edges of the room to a space opposite where you stand. So you're on the right. So on the left-hand side of the room, you look across and you see a man dressed in rich red Regesian clothing, marked with the symbols of a torch. To his side, guarding him, is an inquisitor in a heavy cloak, the white of his bear skull mask darkened with etched runes that glow purple and red.
Nobody expects the
The Red-
Regesian Inquisition.
The Regesians, the gnome continues, who have offered to protect us in this time of war, but no! Gallo is too arrogant to accept that. Gallo must have his war. Is this not true?
The man starts to reply, but and he starts looking like at his hands and himself, confused. The woman laughs.
Your lies have begun to confuse even you, poor man. Please answer my questions. Explain to us how Duke Gallo was involved in the terrible, tragic, tyrannical attempt to break the back of our mighty kingdom.
Could I?
As this, go ahead.
Could I attempt to dispel the charm that's on him, or the spell that's on him that's preventing him from speaking properly?
Give me an Arcana check first. Okay, I just gotta check one thing.
he can't do it, I can give it a try. I've got Dispel Magic as well.
And you've got guidance.
I just need to know the
If you need to get it to 20, at least.
You might
Slap
you
that
might have
bad
it.
boy on
I
you.
need to look at the. Okay, so your Arcana check makes you realize that it is not a charm, but a suggestion effect that is occurring right now.
Okay.
And if you want to try to, dismiss it of some sort, then I think you could dispel it. Dispel is up to a level, or you have to make a roll, correct?
Yeah, it's a 3rd level spell, and if
Yes,
you
but I can
cast it
that
higher.
5th level, and it'll automatically end it if the spell level is 5th or lower.
You're gonna
Or
blow a
4th or
5th
lower
level on
if
that?
is 4.
Or, yeah, you can cast it up, and then it cancels out if it's at the same level, or if it's higher
Yes.
than that, then you have to roll.
Correct.
Okay, so there's
Well-
something very specific happening here that I need to know what level you're going to cast it at, and then I'll tell you if you're going to roll.
I was going to cast it at 5th level.
5th level. Okay. I'm going to say at 5th level you dispel it. And as you do that, the man kind of like shakes his head. Do you do it subtly, by the way, or do you just sort of like step up and you're like, and then like
I would do it subtly. I would try to do it
Right.
stealthily and subtly.
All right, so give me a stealth check.
May I bring something up again? Guidance.
Guidance, yes, guidance. How much
Just-
is the guidance for?
Not that it it might not come into play or anything like that, but I'm just wondering if anyone would have wanted. I definitely want to get it for Savannis, and I'm gonna want some fine clothes for this event. I know it's not something that we usually think about, but I think, making sure that we look
the part.
our best.
I did have like an extra 170 gold to, get nicer attire.
I'll take some fine clothes.
And then I'll rip them up because I hate them.
Leaves are bullshit.
She takes the fine clothes and then she rips the sleeves off them so she can show off her arms.
Right.
Exactly, my rear delt. I have to be able to use my nunchucks.
It's like the Todd in
Sleeves get in the way.
in Scrubs. Okay, so that's 3. Moruk, Puent.
Fine clothes,
Yeah.
you're asking? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
the wizard robes are already pretty luxurious, but sure.
You're gonna get it in character, so you're gonna get some fine clothes that are wizard robes.
Sounds good to me.
These things are 15 gold a piece. They are gonna be what you want.
If somebody else pays for it and insists on it, Quint will wear it, but otherwise, he's not going to go through the extra effort to... No.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone else is. I'm gonna say we'll slap you in some. Maybe you're begrudging about it, but
Oh, he's grudging you. He's grudging you.
okay.
They created circle of or wall of fire for a reason.
Again, if you're a wizard, if you want to have some nice robes and just slick, or I don't know, I know you're kind of a get up close, so some nice slick stuff.
If they're not
It's the same.
If they're not impressed with my galactic magical methods, then clothing isn't going to really do anything.
Well, you
I
can't
think
cast
I'm in love
it
with
yet.
The new phrase, galactic magical methods. I think I want to use that in regular conversation with everyone now.
Right? But you can't be casting that and showing off like that.
So
Minor
then
illusion.
I use
Yes,
the
yes.
guidance on the
Use the
stealth, so
guidance.
it's a 13.
It gets you to a 13. Are you comfortable with that, or do you want to do anything else to it?
I can do something to assist if you want to coordinate with me.
Also, remember that Balin can give you an inspiration if you want.
Okay, that would definitely help.
All right, so you have an inspiration from Balin, so you can add a D8 to that.
Oh.
Nice.
Man, taking
Wow, way to
advantage of
max
the
out those
assisted
bonus
dice.
rolls. That's
Right?
That's pretty good. And so
He's going to submit the shit out of it.
Everyone has fine clothes, just
so
to
as
clarify. Moving on.
and everyone has fine clothes.
That's fine.
Right.
As
Poof.
just to sort of make sure that everybody kind of understands the scene, the gnome who is addressing this person in shackles is Nina the Glamour, obviously the king's top advisor, and is also the head of the newly commissioned Talon. They, you also know that the man in manacles is named Relder, and is the clerk to Lord Gallo's proxy, a man named Ginnis, who you have heard about before. Ginnis is currently in jail for treason, and Lord Gallo himself is not in Bresk. As the question, as she starts to say to the king that he's getting tripped up in his own lies. Svennis, your dispel magic takes effect, and he suddenly becomes very lucid, and he's like, No, Lord Gallo is nothing but the right hand of the king. He defends the path so that those people, and he raises both manacled hands because they're together, so that those people cannot come into our kingdom, even under the auspice of truth. And as he says that, he's like, and furthermore, and then he starts to get tongue-tied again, and starts to be, and he's like, but she, and then
Can I counterspell the to respell them?
You can. Yep.
Stealthily, of course.
Just roll me a stealth check if you're doing it. Right, because I don't think for counterspell, there is no roll. It just automatically takes care of the spell, correct?
Same thing as dispel, if it's the level.
Oh,
shit.
Nice.
All right, so you are completely
Divinus
able
is
to
the only one that gets a Divinus.
But what does but you do need to make a check. It depends on what level you're casting at. What level you're casting at?
I would think, honestly, I'd be casting it at its base level. It's somatic, so I think I'd be going bullshit.
So, all right. So if you're gonna do that, then if you're you're casting it at its base level, which is what level?
3.
3. All right. So you need to make a dice roll. Yep. You gotta make a check.
So we'll just make the check and we'll see what the DC is from there.
Yep. There's something going on. You guys are very clearly recognizing it, but there's something going on.
Sick.
What? Excuse me. While this is happening, could I make a perception check to try and see who seems to be casting this?
Absolutely.
So 18.
Okay. So the 18 counterspells. You nail that. Nim, with a 20, you
That
don't
and
see.
stealthily.
Yeah, no, you rolled that. Yes, no doubt. So all of a sudden, he's stuttering, and he comes back. He's like, "No, Lord Gallo is nothing but a defender of the realm for Dason," and continues to go on. Nim, you, especially as he starts to reassess what he's doing, you don't see anybody casting a spell. But you do notice that Glib Glamour's hair keeps changing color, like frequently, not just because of the light. So he and as he comes back and he starts to start saying that he's defending Gallo's honor and he's saying all this again, and then all of a sudden he starts to go back into just sputtering and being unable to talk. And so people in the audience, as this is all happening, start to go, somebody's mind controlling this guy. I don't know who's doing it, but somebody, the people are like, is somebody messing with his mind? Yeah, it looks like somebody's doing suggestion or something. Well, then maybe it's charm. I don't know, shut up, it's a spell, whatever. It's just going on. And it's at this moment that Nina Glibglammer breaks off her questioning and shakes her head and turns to the throne, to the king.
I'm convinced, Your Majesty, that this man has been charmed and that his memory altered.
And with this, finally, King Steppengard moves, straightening in his chair, his face hollow, somewhat ghoulish in the overhead light, eyes sunken, dark pockets underneath. Nina, thank you for your service. It worries me that someone could be using such sorcery in the seat of my nation's rule. Though I wish for nothing other than to execute this man for his part in the murder of my family, I must serve justice. Take him back to the prison. Until such time as other evidence comes to light, I cannot pass sentence on him. 3 guards come up, drag the manacled man away. Again, he was like, but Lord Gallo is done! And all of a sudden he starts just gibbering again, just slipping back into this.
As that's happening, is he switching around and stuff and losing it? Do I notice anything about her hair? Because I've been, locked in on that. I've nudged whoever's next to me and just kind of turn my own hair.
See, it continues to do I'm almost thinking the way that Medusa's snake hair would wriggle. That's the way the colors are wriggling in Glibglammer's hair. As the guards come up to take this person away, the gnome woman steps to stand before the king, just beside his throne. I tire of trials, Steppengard says, and he waves wearily. I will take audience now. As he says this, window blinds are raised, the room brightens comfortably, and the heroes can see who is actually in this room. Proxies for all the nobles are in attendance, except for Lady Namin, who is there in person. Her platinum-colored hair actually seems to grow brighter as the sunlight comes in and hits it. And obviously Lord Gallo is not there, and his proxy has been arrested for treason. At this point, the hero's envoy from Sequin is the first group called before the king. As the heroes come up to speak, the gathered crowd whispers excitedly. They can feel the heavy gaze of the Regessian Inquisitor on their back, and it is now time for Balin and or the heroes to plead their case. So, I think that we've sort of gone over a ton of this stuff. I'm not going to ask anyone to kind of reiterate all of it. You guys have learned what you're going to learn. However, this is the persuasion check to get each of the 3 groups to become sort of Sequin friendly, as it were, to sort of agree that maybe the pact with Regessia that they're proposing, which is Dason opens its borders and lets the army march through unopposed through Dason and Sequin, is not a good idea. So Venice, I'm assuming that you're gonna be the speaker and do this. You got 3 checks. You got 3 checks to make.
Okay. Guidance again in the meantime, because we were close. But now you're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're out in the open. You are officially out in the open.
Let's see, persuasion. With advantage, so let me try this again. Whew. All right.
Good.
Before, and I will say this: before you step out there, Balin like touches your shoulder, maybe at the same time that you're getting guidance from Nim, and so you have another D8 if you need it.
All right.
All right. So
And
friendly.
Nim just slaps you on the ass and says, "Go kill it out there."
Go get him, killer.
Because that's
Just like
really how Nim sounds.
and like
Go get 'em.
and now with the yeah, exactly. That's definitely her voice. And just the new strength that she has, she just whacks you. It's like, ah, Jesus Christ,
you kind of
thanks.
lift up
Ow.
a little bit. You're like, whoa.
Right.
All right. So the friendly entourage, you have won them over. They are good to go. Actually, you know what? I don't want to defeat this because Savenis, I know that this is your thing. Did you want to make any statements, or do you just want to make the rolls?
There's so many things. Rather than
That's why I said if you just want to do the rolls, it's fine.
Yeah, I might just do the rolls because I don't want to misspeak because I know there was stuff about.
Well, I'd love it if you did because then I could disadvantage you. But it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I don't want to like mess up anything because of
it's fine. Again, like I said from the
trade
start,
rights and rights to fishing stuff are very particular, and those wordings come back to bite you.
All right. Just
Yeah,
like the fish.
I'm not getting myself into that.
All right, so you've garnered the support of the friendly individuals. Now for the neutrals.
I think that does it anyways, but
It does. Oh man, there's that chance. But yeah, so you've got the neutrals.
okay.
Can you turn the hostiles though? Come on, 2 1s.
All right. So
All right, so 13 is the best right now. DC of 20. You've got guidance, and you've got a
all right.
inspiration.
I'm going to start with the 8. That's 7.
Why did
and
you
then,
roll 2?
Oh, it did.
You
Oh,
rolled
shit.
2. So you get a 5.
Okay.
Gets you to an 18. Oh man, it pushes you over. That was good. Ah, son of a bitch! I thought I'd get this. But whether it's through the possibility of the things that the lords and ladies have requested, whether it's through the sort of the presentation of the sort of what's the word, the courtesanship of the court, you know, the bowing, the sort of gesturing, etc., that's necessary in the world of nobles, or whether it's the base knowledge that you were able to find out. You were able to sway, shockingly, all of the nobles towards Sequin's plight and towards the threat of the Regents. As you finish speaking, the crowd murmurs with like a bevy of responses. And Steppengard leans over and listens as Glib Glamour like whispers in his ear.
Fucking Grim of Wormtongue over there.
After a moment, Steppengard raises a hand. Courtroom silences. Savenis, you still stand there in the middle of this sort of like lit area. Who amongst you looks the most like a warrior? I don't know if it would be Nim or it would be Obscurity.
Probably Obscurity.
Nim
Yeah.
is going to punch you in the ass next time. She's not going to slap you.
I'm just saying
No,
she's a very strong person.
Well, I am as well. Let's not.
I'm just what I'm saying. Like I just
Actually,
imagine the next time
I
she's not
am
gonna
the
slap you, you need a
strongest.
punch.
Okay,
Maybe.
if you're the strongest,
your rear
Nim's the
delts
strongest,
like?
then...
What are your
No, I
rear
know. I'm not even making the argument. Like, I would take it, but Obscurity also entirely is, in the same situation, it's definitely either of us could fulfill that role easily.
Mud fight.
Yeah,
All right.
you guys must fight right now. Well, how about this? Rather than me, why don't? Or I can either roll a die and pick one of you, or you guys could tell me who looks the most like a warrior between the two of you.
Or me, and we can do rollies. I'll roll my dex, and Nim can roll her strength.
Okay.
Let's see who wins.
However you want to do it.
We'll
I
just
do
see.
like the idea. I do like the idea that there is some sort of like contest that's happening that no one's noticed, where like the two of you are doing something of some sort. So Venice is preaching to the choir.
You got it. Easy.
Yeah, and you guys are like, all right.
And it's like, hey, challenge your strength, and you're already off. And I'm like, yeah. Bye.
So,
even though I now have a walking speed of 40, it's like, no, you still, and you're gone. Damn it.
So let's have a walk-off.
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm losing that too. Shit.
Steppengard doesn't raise out of his throne. He just points. He points at you, Obscurity, and he says, "You don't have the silver honeyed tongue of your companion.
Nope. Definitely not.
Tell me plainly, how many friends have you lost in this? How many of your family have died?"
All of them. I've lost all of them. I have nothing. I am the sole survivor of my family, and everyone I travel with, I've met in the last month. There's nobody left for me.
How many?
$157.
Your words kind of like strike him in the sense that like he did not expect that. Also, what the fuck? Have we not learned your backstory at all? 157 people dead? What?
Nobody's literally asked me at all. My entire temple has been destroyed, which is the reason why I was so
I'm really glad it wasn't Nim, because Nim's answer would not have, I don't think, would have been better. But he
I never had anyone, so
I never had anyone to lose, King.
I was taken and thrown into the cultist stuff. We just move on.
Your words, like, he physically looks staggered by the numbers that you provide him. And he says, rather than like scoffing, he just says wearily, I have lost 19. My wife, my children. I would have gladly lost my own life instead. Gladly. I have suffered enough. No others shall lose their families in a fight that is not ours. If you were my subjects, even you, and he points at Obscurity, with your losses, to protect the families that have not been hurt, to protect those that need not be destroyed, I would have all of you executed for treason for even suggesting war with Regesia. At this point, he stands and he scans the crowd. No one shall offer aid to this nest of serpents, these mages of Sequin, and their friends and allies. He looks back to you, all of you, glancing briefly towards the Regesian envoy. To you, I give you clemency for 3 days in my city. Perhaps in that time you can use some of your poet tongue to persuade the Regesians to show you mercy. Though I mourn your loss as well, I truly hope that none of you need to bear the weight that I do. But by leaping to war, you are calling down such a wound upon your house, your kin, yourselves, and all of Dason. and I will not abide it. Who next wishes to address the king? And at this point, like everybody, like other people start clamoring up, like, "Oh, talk to me, king! Talk to me, king!" And like your moment is over.
That's bullshit.
However,
All right, so we have to protect the southern border of Sequin. Fuck these guys. They're gonna get wiped out
They're gonna get wiped out. He doesn't want to have war, but then
by Regesia.
fucking burn right through them.
Yep.
so
I mean, what are you gonna do?
As you guys are having this moment, and by all means, I mean, have this moment, because what the fuck, right? Like, Sylvanas just crushed it. Like, how are you not hearing our words, King Steffengard?
Well, the little gnomish bitch.
Blama?
Yeah. Now, who is she again?
Have we tried to dispel magic on him?
Not yet.
You have not, but he also seems in as right of mind as he can. I mean, if anybody wants to make an Arcana check on him to see if maybe he's under the sway, that sure, but
I'll do that.
I'm still going for the gnome.
he appears to be in a state of loss and mourning, but he does not seem to be in a state of objectively being under like suggestion or charm or something like that. And so as this is happening, the you know what really annoys me, and it just dawned on me. Before we started tonight, I got this, which is called Royal Court, and I meant to start this for this whole fucking scene, and I never started it. God damn it! And sorry about that, everybody. I had music for this and everything, and I forgot to do it. As you guys are kind of like, you know, I don't want to say being flustered, but like in the sense of just being stifled and also being told you got 3 days before you got to get out of my city. The proxies of Timor and Dashkaban come over and speak to you. They ask you to stay in Brest for a while, just in case the king might reconsider. And they know that you have won over several, if not all, of the other nobles. And they suggest that if you were to leave, not to go back to Sequin, but to head north to speak with Duke Gallo, as no one truly believes the claims against him, and think that it is just being spurred by rumor mongering and the king's loss, recent loss, devastating loss. And they also think that Gallo would be a great way to sort of further garner support from the nobles and from Sequin, as he might be a great bridge between that. By the charter of the Council of Nine, if 6 nobles disagree with the king, their decision stands. As of right now, you have swayed several people. You've swayed the whole council. Almost all of them are friendly, but the hostiles have moved to neutral. So they could fall back depending upon actions and whatnot. But for the most part, you have garnered the support of many of the nobles. Is there anything else that you guys want? Like, Balin will look at you and basically say, I mean, if there's anybody, I forget what Balin's voice is, but he's like, if there's anyone else that you would like to speak with here, I mean, by all means, feel free. But I think maybe it is time that we exit this area and reassess what our next step should be.
Yeah. I think it's time to head out. Who knows what we're doing from here. What are we thinking for next steps?
Like Balin would say, perhaps it would be best if we discuss this behind the arcane mark.
Yeah, no, we. Yeah, we're.
we leave.
Oh yeah. He's got that thing.
Like
right.
I'm
I forgot
saying,
about
like,
that.
You don't want to
That
go
thing's
over
pretty
and,
great.
and give the Inquisitor a big hug, or maybe show off the skulls that you're carrying around your belt of dead Inquisitors, and be like, "Hey, Bill, look what I've been doing." Just saying.
Just like that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other night, Nim really like embraced her inner bro at the gym, and now it's just carrying over.
Right. I mean, it's I that's why. That's right. That's why I was even going into the idea of fine clothes in the first place, because it's like, no, we're dressed up, we're presentable right now.
They wasted all this goddamn money on fine clothes, and the king still said no.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's not
that
like you
that
can't
being
carry
said,
it with you and use it for a different thing. Just saying.
that Lady Namin, I'll definitely make a big showing of, since we were sitting right next to her, of bowing and doing my best. She's not amazing at it, but she's trying. Nim, that is, to show the correct respects.
She acknowledges your movements and your sort of like courtinsmanship. I know that's a word. I don't think I'm saying it right, but she sort of just like has like one of those like feathered fans, and as she sort of like waves it in front of her face, is just like, I appreciate what was said to my proxy last night, but one must always maintain proper decorum, especially in these times of mourning. Good day to you and to all of you. And she kind of like goes to step off.
Yeah, just good day, lady.
Also,
ma'am.
just so you know, the ambassador from Regesia, his name is Ceramus, and his bodyguard, his name is Torax, which I think is just a badass name.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, right? Like I read it and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. But all right, so you guys succeeded. Several of the nobles have been swayed towards your cause in one way, shape, or another, or to sequence cause, I should say. However, the king himself seems adamant that war is not the answer, and that what you have suggested is by far bordering on blasphemous. And with that, I am going to take a quick bio break, and then we can either wrap up, or if there's anything else to say, I will be right back, but I do have to use the can. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I feel. What was
I'm actually voting for a wrap it up, because I am.
Oh no, we're definitely wrapping up. Unless if anyone has any questions or whatever, but we're done for the night with everything. But I would want to say, I want to say, was this from Lord of the Rings, where it's like, I won't bring war on my people, war is upon you? Doesn't he say that in, not Gondor? Was it Rohan?
Rohan, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to watch those again. I showed Kelton the Fellowship, but it's like, okay, we need to get to the two towers and just get through the whole thing. It's a lot for a kid, but he also he doesn't really stay with a lot of stuff all the time, but he did make it through Fellowship pretty good. So it's like, all right, sick.
That's a start.
You're right. It's like, it's not necessarily above him or anything.
Yeah, we'll need to get a watch party for the kids going sometime.
Absolutely.
You're still in Methuen, right?
Yep.
Same place?
If not the same place, very close to it.
Okay. I remember dropping you off someplace across from a pond or a lake.
Is this in real life or is this in a game?
No, we had gone down to Total
in
Con
real
one
life.
year, a few years ago. And
Okay.
I gave him a ride home from Total Con.
Did I thought I took like the train.
You did, and you met me in Braintree, going down to there. But
Yeah.
since I was coming up home, going home anyways to Manchester, I was like, yeah, why don't I just drop you off at your house?
Okay, then yeah. Something like that. There no pond. So it's like I'm trying to think of what it would be, but
It's just
yeah.
probably under the influence of something.
Right.
It was raining. There was
The
a puddle
best
there.
gaming session
Long
you've
day
ever
of
had.
D&D. Yeah, it was a long day.
But yeah, so questions, comments, concerns? You guys did really good.
But you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
If Billy Madison over here. You blew it! Just start screaming at
Good for your
Savannis.
whole-
But no, it's an interesting situation that has presented itself because we're gonna have to. I'm interested in finding out what's going on with Gallo and what's going on with this gnome. This gnome is the thing that's really annoying me. Typical gnomes. Because
I'm interested in, if nobody believes the accusations against Gallo, I would be really interested in actually determining who was behind this. That might help. That might help Stephengard's grief a little bit, and persuade him to see reason. So I would be interested in getting an appropriate person to take responsibility, or persons to take responsibility for what's happened.
You lost me at responsible.
Well, I was just going to say, in what way? What do you mean?
the people who did it.
Right. The people who actually.
Well, no. So I'm sorry. Let me rephrase it in the sense of what's going down, and then maybe I can understand better. So, the king's response to the assassination attempt was basically to lock down everything he could, create this stormtrooper / secret police area or group known as the Talon, and to try to figure out as quickly as possible who did this assassination attempt. And with that, I think that his, I don't want to say I think, I know that his kind of guiding principle is he wants to protect Dason not only from events like this, but from anything that's even slightly related to what could bring us about, aka war. And so that's what his sort of driving moment is. And so as well said and as well thought out and as actualizable were the things that Venice presented that swayed many of the lords and ladies. It just did not touch Stephengard's resolve for this sort of drive to protect. I think that for as much as I don't want this to be inflammatory, I think about what the world was like in the U.S. when 9/11 happened, and the sort of fluidity to allow government to be, and especially like law enforcement, to be pervasive with the sort of the acts that followed that. Did those turn around to be bad? Yes. Did they turn around to be too far-reaching? Yes. But were they done under the auspice of, we need to make sure that we're safe? That was what the sort of guiding compass was, and that's what Steppengard's actions are at this point. Like, it's not that you guys have come to say things that are wrong. You're just saying them to an audience that is so resolute that they're not being hurt, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, but Steppengard. Am I understanding correctly that Steppengard is accusing Gallo of being the one to assassinate his children and his wife, or no?
So, Gallo's proxy's accountant, who is the person that you guys had a battle of wills with, or battle of suggestion will with, those are people that are potentially suspects, but much in the same way that he sent the accountant back to jail because there was nothing like concrete that could be said that was part of the plot to kill his family. He's not beyond reason, right? Like, he's not just killing people willy-nilly. He's saying, like, there has to be a reason to do it, which makes you think potentially that if the Talon are just executing people out in the countryside, that may be something that he is either unaware of or is being handled outside his scope of knowledge.
Okay. And that wasn't brought up to that. Did we bring that up to his attention? Because that was discussed when we.
It was specific that the acts of the Talon were specifically said by Balin to not bring up because of two things. One, it would eventually lead to the fact that you guys attacked the king's forces. Yeah, you didn't kill him, but you attacked the king's forces and then came in. That's not going to sit well. Like, it's just not going to go. Balin's like, there are things to say and things not to say. Do not say that. Do not say that.
Okay. And
I am super. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm just super aggravated that I like before the game tonight I was like, I gotta find music that's like the royal court, and I found music and I was like, that's great. And then I got up, like, I paused before we started, came back, and I didn't start it. God damn it. Oh well.
And so it's only Gallo's representative that has been put into jail?
Correct. So Gallo himself is still in Gallo at Gallo's Fend. He had his so much the same as like all except for Lady Namin, everybody else was represented by their proxies in Bresk. And so last night you dealt with their proxies. Today, in front of everybody, you pleaded your case in front of their proxies. The only person that wasn't a proxy was Lady Namin, and Gallo's proxies and Gallo himself were not there, as they were either in jail or back at Gallo's Fend.
Or quite literally at the gallows.
Right.
We need a W for that, and we don't have it on. We'll see what happens, but we don't have one.
I'd like to buy a consonant.
I'd like to buy a W. Yeah. One thing that I did not mention. Actually, two things I didn't mention, but I do want to bring up because I think that they're fun. Is clearly you have the support of Lady Timor and Lord Dashkaban. However, Lady Timor has a bit of a concern going on right now, and she does not hold any ill will towards you, but has learned that your party's actions have turned the fire forest off, which means the Regessians have an open pathway to come into Timor.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking scary. So that's something that's going on. And
well, it doesn't have to be an open passageway, because the fire forest, they are badasses. First off, they've been burning for like decades now and living through it.
Remember that you turn the fire off, which means a lot of shit died, including all the things that have been there haunting the forest fire, the fire forest, not forest fire, fire forest. And so, basically, like, the fire blockade that was there is not really there anymore. Yes, there's still problems and issues, but an army would have a much easier time coming through there if they were to, say,
not be on
break
fire
through and own gate pass.
Like the elves are still there, right? In the fire forest.
So the map that we're on doesn't really show it, but I don't want to go back to get the map, but there was basically there was like a pathway that did this into the fire forest, and then to the right of that was the Shaelesti, and to the left of that was just like the Tunda Mountains as they went up. So short of the Shaelesti coming to stop the Regessians there, the Regessians would not have a hard time marching from Gate Pass if they were to break through and own it to get into the fire forest. Which is what Timor has as kind of like not an issue against you guys, but as a concern that has arisen because of her actions. And then Lord Dashkaban has a request, and I think it's probably the best request ever. Apparently, in Sequin, and the goddamn publishers of this adventure path did not want to mention this, that there is an excellent brewer whose brewery is known as Enchanted Draughts or Drafts, and the owner's name is Harland, which is really funny because in another game we have a guy named Harlan. But Dashkaban would really love some sort of trade deal where he can import Enchanted Drafts beer at a discount specifically to Dashkaban. And I think that that's just super fun. And I'm annoyed that nobody mentioned that there was an excellent brewer when you guys got to Sequin. Just saying.
Yeah, we haven't. Nothing was over there that we know of.
Yeah, you guys were like, we found out about like a rich district. We found out about the Lyceum. We found out about a brothel. We found about like a battle bros in the woods. Found out about like a bunch of refugees. We found out about a dragon at one point. We found out about a oh shit, what was it? We found out about some goblins that we never really handled, and nobody ever mentioned amazing brewer. Just saying, but yeah.
Yeah, nothing even along those lines. Which would have been nice.
When I was reading this book, I'm like, I went back and read through the entire last book, and I'm like, never mentioned. Just, I mean, it's not. I guess it's not bad. Maybe they started up a business. Like one of the refugees started up a business.
Yep. Once we left,
hurricane, and that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just developed all these skills immediately, right now.
Well, it's one of those
inspired.
things where, like, Kevin, are you familiar with Treehouse Brewing out in like Western Mass?
Like I've heard of it.
So they just recently opened like a sister brewery that, or at least like a distribution place that's in Tewksbury, and they make an IPA called Orange Julius that is like their flagship, and it's one of those beers where you either have it and immediately go, yeah, I can totally tell why people love this beer, or you drink it and you go, I don't like this. Oh, it's gross. But
yeah,
maybe that's the thing, right? Like, it's like the Alchemist up in Vermont that's making heady topper or something like that, right? Like they hit a thing that is so good in the beer drinking community that like that's why Dash Kaban is like, no, I really want that.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's what we have. We've got Dash Kaban is one of the big ones that we have remaining.
Yeah, so Dash Kaban and Timor, they started off as friendly, are still friendly. You now have Dene and Iz are on board. Rhaego and Namin are neutral, and Megadon is still
A ball sack.
he's yeah, we're still a big ball sack. Yeah, he's open to conversation, but he's willing to at least like listen. Maybe Sovenis's words mentioned something about the reef that is in contention between Sequin or whatever. So at least he'd be willing to listen. But very specifically, you know that is Dene, Timor, and Dashkaban are willing to like back you guys. And if Gallo is down, that's 5. So, I mean, is it enough to have the council total in sway with you? Maybe not, but it is definitely something where many of them are willing to listen and maybe will make a better decision or a different decision at some point.
Yeah, well, that's all we can do. All right. Well, I think with that, I don't know if we have an idea of what we want to do next, but
it's probably best that we leave that to next week.
Sounds good.
I think I just want to say good job, everybody. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of rules tonight, and it was a lot of fun watching it happen. So, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Meh, 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 meh.
Hey.
Beep.
Later.
Night.
Later, all.